Hello Internet and welcome to this quick video on A Christmas Carol, specifically key quotations surrounding the character of Bob Cratchit, perfect for GCSE English. Let's start by taking a look at this quote here. The clerk's fire was so very much smaller, and he tried to warm himself at the candle. The narrator describes the scene in Scrooge's office where Scrooge rations the live coals needed to heat the place during winter. Scrooge relegates his clerk Bob Cratchit to a minimal fire, expecting Cratchit to work while cold. Bob knows that if he replenishes his fire, Scrooge will threaten to terminate his job, so he tries to warm himself as best he can without angering Scrooge. Despite the poor working conditions, Bob cannot afford to lose his job as he has a family to support. Bob suffers in silence for his family's sake. Our next quote is, "With 15 shillings a week and a wife and family, I'll retire to Bedlam." Scrooge overhears Bob Cratchit cheerfully returning Fred's Christmas greeting. Knowing the wages his clerk and his family subsist on, he thinks the poor man crazy. Scrooge's joke about Bedlam, a famous insane asylum, reflects his perplexity at a world where people can be gracious while impoverished. Scrooge believes one can only be happy with wealth, but ironically, he remains miserable despite his wealth. Bob knows that celebrating Christmas has nothing to do with money. Wishing Fred a Merry Christmas costs him nothing, but the words bring them both happiness, a point lost on Scrooge. The reference to the amount he earns also indicates that Scrooge is in direct control of Bob's family's wealth, a theme that will be revisited later. Our next quote is, "Very close to his father's side, wished to keep him by his side and dreaded that he might be taken from him." Scrooge describes the scene with the Cratchit house that he sees while with the ghost of the Christmas present. Readers view the scene through Scrooge's eyes, his choice of words conveying a sense of wonder at Bob's behaviour. Bob obviously behaves as if he loves Tiny Tim with all of his heart and fears he may be taken from him by his illness. The reader reflects on the lack of parental affection in Scrooge's childhood. Scrooge may be realising for the first time how much some fathers love their children. We also see that Tiny Tim is dying. As we know, Scrooge is in control of this family's wealth. We wonder whether a change in Scrooge's nature could save this innocent child. And finally we have, "Recollect how patient and mild he was. We shall not quarrel easily among ourselves and forget poor Tiny Tim in doing it." In A Christmas Yet to Come, Tiny Tim has just died. Here, Bob tries to turn his death into a life lesson for his remaining children. He asks them to behave towards each other as Tiny Tim always did. With these words, Bob shows his mature side as his family's leader and guide. Even in grief, he tries to keep his family committed both to loving each other and to doing so rightly.